rocking gold teeth and fangs. Cause that's what a mother effing monster do. He a dresser from Milan, that's the monster do. Monster Giuseppe Hill, that's the monster show.
Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I invented the home sous vide immersion circulator. I'm really famous, and you've heard of me just now. It's great to meet everybody. People here know what sous vide is, I assume. Yes? Yes? All right, great. You're my audience, thank you. One of my biggest accomplishments, I think, that I am really into is that we wrote the best-selling sous vide book called Sous Vide at Home. So, not only did I invent it, but I literally wrote the book on it. That's how I entered the room. Boom. And today we have a connected device. And this is our journey with Namiku. So the biggest hardware revolution to come before us inside of the kitchen was the microwave. And it came at a confluence of many, many things happening when it went to the upward trajectory. So it was first invented in the 50s. People couldn't even get their employees to buy them. They're like, huge discounts, here you go, dog. And they're like, no. It wasn't until there was the containers that were safe to go inside the microwave and the microwave food that people started paying attention. And at that time, women were getting into a lot of trouble. So we were becoming part of dual income households, which meant that we worked, but when we came home, it still meant that we had to do the child rearing, cleaning, and cooking. And it's changed so much today. So we needed some help. The fact that you could just put food in there and have dinner in like 15 minutes, amazing. The adoption of the microwave beat that of the laptop, the internet, and the cell phone. Look at that, it's crazy. That big ass line, that's just like a straight curve. We have hills like that in San Francisco. Not so sure about Portland, but it is amazing. It grew like 2x annually. Today's crew, people that I talk to, people everywhere have a microwave, but they're not so into it anymore. They think that the food's not tasty when it comes out. If I go to your house and you pull something out of the microwave, it'd be like, cool, you hate me, thanks. But if you pull something out of the sous vide, you're like, oh my God, how do you even do this? So sous vide, for those of you not initiated, is the way that every single top chef in the world cooks. It has a very fancy name, but what it's all about is temperature control. Ever since the dawn of fire, we've been trying to control it, and now that we can control heat to 0.1 degrees Celsius, that is an incredible revolution. This is why we spend so much money on expensive stoves, like Viking stoves or copper pots. It's all about even heat. And now we can control exact chemical reactions and have it focused on exactly when food becomes delicious. So the steak here is cooked at 57 degrees Celsius. Now at 57 degrees Celsius, that's when the fat and the collagen melt into the muscle, making each bite juicy, tender, marbled, and delicious. I can make a roast here taste like Wagyu. When I first got started, I worked in the top kitchens of the world. I worked under Mario Batali at Babo, at Jean-Georges, at Saison in San Francisco. These are Michelin-starred places, and I saw this huge hulking piece of laboratory equipment everywhere that I went. It cost like $1,000 and up, and the amazing thing was that the Grand Manger, which is another fancy name for salad maker, which what I was, and the executive chef could all use this machine. All you do is put your food inside of a bag, put it in the water, and then walk away. That's insane. I was like, I have to bring this to everybody. I was saving up like a few $1,000s to buy one, and then I met this guy on the screen with the science t-shirt at the gym when I was 22. He has his PhD in astrophysics, plasma physics from Princeton. Around 4 people annually graduate from that school that Albert Einstein created. I was like, hey, what's up? I think you're very cool. We should go on a date. And this is what I'm into. I read the Wikipedia article of what you do. So, partners? And he was like, yeah, let's make a sous vide machine. So we ran to the hardware store, and we made one. Best date ever, by the way. 6 months later, we were engaged. He's my co-founder, husband, baby daddy. And when we first got started, I was like, okay, I really want to make this machine. How do we do it? At that time, there was this huge maker revolution, this huge groundswell. So after I would troll Twitter, I would look for hashtag sous vide. And then if they were close enough to me, we would drive to their homes. If they bought if they bought the supplies, and we would make it in their living room. And then we're like, well, we could do this maybe a little scaled up, so we created these DIY open source kits. And we traveled all across the United States to teach people how to make these DIY open source kits. I would sit with you or you for 6 hours, and we built it from scratch. I was like, well, we're selling out of these, and if people think that that's valuable, how valuable would it be if we just made it? I do speak Mandarin. I wasn't afraid to go to China, so we're like, let's head out there. Let's head east. So we went to Shenzhen, and how we did it was that we just went online to like Taobao and Alibaba, and we checked out people who made similar parts to what we wanted inside of our machine, and we requested a tour, and that's it. Just meeting random friends on the internet is how we got it done. So we go to China for 3 months, and then 1 week before our wedding, we have a beautiful prototype. I'm like, thank God. We rush back, and we beg our wedding videographers, like, please, could you help us make a Kickstarter video? We paid the deposit for our wedding. You don't have to film it. Just do the Kickstarter video. They were very, very nice, took pity on us, did the Kickstarter video and our wedding. And we put it up on Kickstarter. It became the #1 most funded project on Kickstarter. And this was like, I mean, we all dream, like, we put something out there, people see it, we get money. And like, I was like, yeah. When that comes true, you're like, wow. But it like coincided with the wedding perfectly, because I was standing at the altar of the wedding. I was like, this is the rest of my life now. Wow. It's cool. I mean, that's what I want. But it's an overwhelming feeling, and when you get a great Kickstarter, you also are committed. You're like, well, people gave me their money. This is the rest of my life now. Wow. And we made the classic Namiku. So this is what it looked like. It clips onto any pot that you already own. We made it in 2012. It heats and circulates the water, and you put your food inside of like basically a Ziploc bag, and then put it in, and that's it. When we first made it, we made it in China. We lived next to our factory for 2 years. So I would literally turn on the lights and then train everybody on the line. And we get things done. Because we were making something that the world has never seen before, we just had to be right there all the time. And we were new at this. I'd never done it in my life. My background is like chefing, writing, etc. But this came pretty naturally. Just kidding, it did not. But we spent a lot of time on it. When we first created this machine, it had like over 100 parts and had to have meticulous labor put together. We were just like, well, if we can do this in China, we can probably move it back to the States. And Obama invited me over to the White House as an honor maker. And when I stood in front of him, he was like, you should make your machine in the United States. And I'm like, yes, sir. What else do you say? So that was impetus for us to go next. Does anybody here know about lean manufacturing and the lean startup stuff? Yes. Okay, fantastic. So my favorite thing about lean manufacturing is the ganchi ganchai part, which is go and see. You guys know the story of like the Toyota salesman that sat in the back of a minivan and toured cross country with American families as they like did road trips. Well, what I did is I went to basically hundreds and hundreds of houses where people used my original Namiku, and I was like, this is easy, right? I was like, come on, guys, this is so easy. All you do is put your food inside of a bag and then put it in the water. So easy, right? And everybody was like, actually, no, we don't get it. We don't know what time and temperature to cook these things at. This is a new way to cook. How do we know this is safe? What are the recipes to do with? I was like, okay, no worries. I got you. I'm gonna put my brain inside a robot body that cooks for you. So we made it connected with Wi-Fi. We made an app that is the world's largest sous vide community, and everybody makes recipes, and they're approved by our staff, and I also make recipes, and you can buzz it directly to your machine. So I was like, it's easier now. Also, I made it clip into the front. Also, I did extensive DFM. DFM means design for manufacturing. And what we did here is that we made it basically into subcomponents that you can put together, and then it's 8 pieces that clip together, which makes it much easier for manufacturing in the United States, where we manufacture today. So all of our things are made in San Francisco. Really expensive, yeah! That's my version of a hype horn. Somebody can do it better later. Teach me. Come to my booth. Yes, I thought like this is it, and then people wanted the old school recipes. I'm like, no problem, I'll write a book, and that's what happened as well. And then I went around to the hundreds of homes again. I was like, oh, it's so easy, right? I mean, come on. I pull up the app for them. I connect to Wi-Fi for them. I'm like, come on, right? This is so easy now. You want to cook with it every day. And they're like, well, I'm like, what do you want, dude? So whenever I go to people's houses, I also like am very grateful for their time, so I also cook dinner for them. And they're like, Lisa, we love it when you cook dinner. That's what we want. And then first they thought they were just joking with me, right? They're like, haha, we want you to make dinner. I'm like, dude, I will make you dinner if that's what it takes. So that's how we started with our third connected device, which is the RFID Namiku. We ship you food that I cooked, basically. We take the recipe and we scale it with a co-packer. It has an RFID chip on it. You tap it to the face of the machine and you drop it in. In 30 minutes, you have dinner. And you can put as many bags as your container will carry. It's amazing. So in my home, I am paleo. My kids eat chicken breast. My husband is vegetarian. My mother-in-law, who is like basically like the COO of this company. Thank you, mother-in-law. She can't eat dairy. Like, so what do I cook every night? I mean, I'm one of the world-class chefs that you'll meet. One of the best cooks in the world. One of the best cooks in the world. And when I come home, I am exhausted. And everybody's just looking at me. They're like, hey, what's for dinner? I'm like, dude, couldn't you just like order takeout? Like, you know I'm coming home at 7. We're gonna eat at like 9 o'clock. And so now I just pull stuff out of the freezer, go beep, beep, beep. I'm like, here you go, fam. And everybody gets to eat their favorite thing. Yeah, this is basically what I tried to create. I thought about the Jetsons. I was like, everybody wants to eat their own thing and they want it personalized. People always are like, oh, it's 2018. We're supposed to get flying cars, but then we got blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's 2018. Now you get dinner on the table. Exactly what you like. And this is Massimo Bottura. I don't know if you know him. He does Osteria Francescana, which is one of the top restaurants in the world. So we prepare our meals the same way that he does in his kitchen. Every single top restaurant in the world, whether it's 11 Madison Park, Saison, Jose Andres, they all use my machine. So I was like, all right, let's just step it up for everybody at home. And then we freeze it for long shelf life. We reheat it gently at the perfect temperature. If you reheated my food packets, let's say on the stove or in the oven, you would just destroy all my good cooking because I use precise temperatures for you, homie. And then we deliver it with no friction. This is the fun connected part, which is that we don't give you a subscription. We don't give you food every week or every month. We know when you're out of inventory, and then we have you opt in. And at that time, we also know exactly what you like to eat. So let's say like you're paleo AF, and you don't eat pork. We don't recommend you pork dishes, and we also recommend you stuff that is appropriate for your diet. Jetsons, source fresh ingredients, deliver exactly what's needed. Food is prepared automatically. Woo woo. And meal kits today are great. They solve one huge major problem, which is grocery shopping. Grocery shopping is awful, awful. But the problem is that when you get your box, you still have to chop and cook and clean. And that is a lot of work. I love to cook, but I can't do that every day. I don't know how some of y'all do it. Good job. So with our meals, we're just like, it's more of utility. You just tap and eat. And also our machine is a standalone machine, because one thing that I hate about smart products is that they make you more stupid. Any smart product that makes you more stupid is sad to me, and I think should die in the ground. And this is what we do. We do the frozen meals, it's RFID tagged, and then there's an auto reorder. These are some of our meals that we cook today. You can come to our booth and we'll let you try the tappity tap thing. We just started shipping to Oregon. I would love for you to try and tell me what you think. This is my connected journey, connected to serve dinner. Thank you.
All right, so if you have a question for Lisa, we'd advise to line up now because we're only going to have about 5 minutes for questions. What an honor to be here. Just want to thank TechFest and Portland State. I mean, what an incredible building and what an honor to be here for the first time. So pretty exciting. And Lisa, welcome. So I will fully admit, I've been stalking your company for a few years now, and I think
Oh.
it's incredible. And I think, as a food dork, that's me, I'm the stalker. As a food dork and someone who tries to keep up on the trends, and as someone who's really into food, and as somebody like many people in here who have the business, it's hard to innovate. It's hard to pick a lane. From the outside looking in, your company has 3 lanes. You have the sous vide technology in and of itself. You're innovating in the meal delivery kits. There's a lot of competitors in that space. Plus, your technology is partnering with some of the largest consumer brands in the world. Did you predict this? Did you see these lanes when you started this company? You talk about that a little bit, what you saw?
Absolutely. So our whole North Star, like what we do is that we're here to eradicate every obstacle between you and a delicious plate of food. And yes, queen, thank you. Thank you. That was like a standing ovation. That felt good. But like basically what that's all about is I was just trying to make it easy for people to cook. And as my story went, I was like, is this easy enough for you to put food inside of a bag? Is this easy enough for you now that you can talk directly to the machine? It turned out each time by user behavior, it wasn't there. It just wasn't there until now.
There we go.
So we always saw that our North Star was to get dinner on the table. And the windy, twisty road that we took brought us here.
So did you always expect to be in, say, the meal kit business?
I mean, I've kind of fantasized about cooking food for everybody on Earth. This is one of my greatest passions. Like when I first came to the States when I was 7, I had no friends. I came straight from China and I had my t-shirt tucked into my shorts. So I didn't know how to be cool. And then somebody came over to my house out of pity. I was like, thank you. Mwah. I fed her a 1,000-year-old egg. She didn't talk for the rest of the night. And when I went to school the next day, I was like, I am effed. So the kids come out and they surround me. They're like, Lisa, can we go over to your house and eat the weird food? I'm like, internalize deeply that food connects people and I can connect people through food. So my fantasy is always to cook for everybody on Earth. Seriously, still is today. And now I can do that at scale.
That's fantastic. Talk about your partnership with Samsung.
Okay, Samsonian. They were nice enough to include my app in every single smart fridge that they ship. So what you do there is that the machines really talk to each other. It becomes basically they become social with each other. They're like, hey, I'm like, my machine's like, hey, refrigerator, what you got in there? They're like, some dinner for you, honey. And then things get easier for everybody at home because you don't have to carry that like mental pressure of inventory. What's going on? So
I get the sense you don't think of yourself necessarily as a sous vide company. You're a dinner company.
We get dinner on the table. So sous vide is so fancy. It literally means under vacuum in French. And what I'm here about is the precise temperature control. And also, like, as we expand further and further, you don't have to know that it's called sous vide. It's just a way to get the most delicious food you ever tasted in your life into your mouth in 30 minutes.
Okay, so good segue into my next question, which personally, the first time I saw a sous vide machine was at a fancy restaurant in Spain.
Oh, girl.
It looked like, it was huge, and it looked like something that should have been in outer space. It did not look like food equipment. First consumer applications, I think, were, good technology, but like Sous Vide Supreme and some of those companies, but they were big.
Yeah.
First time I saw yours, it was like, wow, I could put that in my pocket and use it with my Le Creuset. So how ubiquitous could this technology become? And I also feel, when you answer that, I think there's a mental block that a lot of people have to sous vide cooking because they assume, oh, that's for the Michelin star chefs, that's not for us. So is that an obstacle for ubiquity?
So I think it's actually freaking free advertising, yo. It's like, hey, aspirationally, you want to cook like a top chef, this is what they do. I think the word sous vide can be abrasive, which is why we do this machine thing where you just weigh food in front of a machine and drop it in. There is a chance for ubiquity, but the ubiquity will only come when there is the ecosystem. When there's the ecosystem, like with the microwave, there was microwave food, boom, bam. Like it will only happen if food is involved.
So another good segue, the farm to table movement as we know it has really defined the vocabulary by which we talk about food today. And out of that was really, farm to table movement is about reconnecting with sources, reconnecting with products. And now it's somewhat ironic that the very people who came from the farm to table background are going back to convenience. Can you talk about that relationship to someone who might say, well, that's antithetical?
Ooh, I like that. Heretic, heretic. You know, it's made fast, but it's slow food. So what we're trying to get is like for people, first of all, to love food. And do you remember the time when you fell in love with food? Like maybe you ate like SpaghettiOs, and then one day you had real spaghetti, and you're like, this is a revelation. Everybody here had that experience, right, in their life where you realized food was pleasurable? Yes, okay, yes. So there's like that ratatouille moment that everybody has. And there are so many people there who are asleep to that. They're just like, this is food. Food is blah, blah, blah. But if they,
Fuel.
yeah, food is fuel, food, whatever. Food, this is what food tastes like. Imagine them having like my beef bourguignon somewhere in a food desert. And they're like, you know what? I am interested in this. This is awesome. That's what we're trying to spark here. We do the slow food in our back end. We work with the best suppliers to do like ABF. We support small family farms. And meanwhile, like, we're trying to like wake people up in the most gentle way. We're not going up in their face and be like, yo, you're killing the planet with what you eat, and it makes you fat and it makes you sad. Instead, we're like, try this. It's wonderful, right? Keep doing this.
And your meal kits, I remember you telling me when we spoke previously.
So meal kits imply that you kind of chop and cook.
Okay, you don't do that?
We're just the utility.
Okay. Well, your meal service,
Yeah.
you guys are working in each market, I understand, with small farms, co-packing them. So there is ways of doing this. I think people think food by mail and they don't always think local food, but you guys are providing local food.
Exactly. And we make it easy for you. So we want to do the back end work so that you just enjoy and feel good about it. And also it's flexible because it's frozen. You don't have to eat it that week. Let's say like you go on vacation, you're like, oh, I have to stop my subscription. No, you don't, dog. We got you. We know you're not cooking. So we're not sending you more.
Cool, fantastic. So my last question, and I would advise anyone who has a question to come up to the mics now, it's my last one. Food accessibility. There's a huge technological revolution happening right now in America. There's a democratization of technology. There's also a democratization of food. People have access to better food than ever, and yet the US, Oregon is actually one of the most food insecure states in the country, which people find, the birthplace of James Beard, they find that to be somewhat ironic, and it is. Not just Nomico, but technology in general. How can technology help bridge that gap between people and food access, food insecurity, and a lot of the greater issues that sort of plague us as a society?
The great thing about that is that we don't have to start from scratch. Like sous vide has been a technology that has been used for over 50 years, and when you think about attacking food insecurity and reaching people in food deserts, there are already sophisticated software for logistics available already through FedEx trade networks, through UPS. And if you can tap into those and basically wear them like a glove instead of creating your own network, then you can absolutely get it done. Just like when we started hardware manufacturing, it's an old business for like a century in China now. And you go in there and then you just take what already exists and remix it a little bit. We're not like one little bit of incremental change can actually open up the system dramatically. It's like there's a little blood clot in the things that exist that are efficient today. Just go and kick at them a little bit and figure out your own way, because they're also looking for growth too. Maybe their growth, maybe like FedEx at this point, their growth must be in the single digits. If you can say like, hey, if you partner with us, this will happen. We'll go to these places that you already have the software for, da-da-da-da. They'll be like, let's go. And I have scant to find anybody who doesn't want to partner when I say those things.
So pitching new ideas to established networks.
Yes, voila. Yeah.
Questions?
Can you hear me? Okay. I have a quick question. Can you talk a little bit about the role that branding and marketing may have played with your startup, and if you any marketing techniques or tools that you might have used where you saw a spike in sales or helped you get information out about your brand?
That's a great question. And I know there's a lot of founders in here. So we had absolutely zero money for marketing. We've raised less than $5 million in our time since we've been live 2012. We've shipped over 3 hardware products. You hear of startups that raise $120 million and can't even ship. So like, we had no money for marketing, and what it was is like guerrilla stuff. When I first did my Kickstarter, one thing that I did was that I would Google eater heat map and see which restaurants were the hottest, and I would ride my bicycle with my prototype and some snacks and some postcards inside of them, and then stand in line with the people waiting in line and pitch all of them about my machine and give them a little postcard and a little snack and show them how it works and stuff. And that's how I got a lot of my initial traction. So it's like super boots on the ground, and people think like, oh, how does that scale? I'm like, I don't care, dog. Like, it got me over $1.3 million on Kickstarter. People just like want to throw their arms up when they think that things can't scale. I'm like, if you can get people passionate, I promise you, one of them is going to tell somebody else, and one of them is going to tell somebody else, da-da-da-da. So we did it like a strong community thing. We also had a lot of earned media. Forbes, Zagat, and Inc. 30 Under 30. Nobody else in the world holds that title. It's like an EGOT. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, keep going out there and keep doing these things. That's why I'm here right now, to talk to people face to face, live. This is what works. So that's a huge thing. And I wrote a cookbook. Just like, whatever you have in front of you, just go for it. I'm like one of those action heroes you see in movies that kills the bad guy with a frying pan, because it was right there. Yeah. I'm like clapping for myself. Please clap.
Another question over there.
Hopefully you can hear me. Can you tell me about how you've managed to deal with the technological challenges of being in the Internet of Things sector, and how you managed to deal with the security aspect of it?
Oh, great. Security, the security aspect of it is that our data, your data doesn't belong to anybody else. That's the good part. And we have two-step authorization login. It's the safest security encryption that you can have in IoT. Our job is not, how we get money is not selling your data to anybody else. How we get money is when you order our food over and over and over again. Hell yeah, and we want to keep you happy like that. So like, it makes my job super easy. I don't sell you as a product, I literally sell a product. And I love that question, because I'm like, phew, I don't have to like Zuckerberg that shit. Just like, you signed up for this. This is just the world now. Like, no, I protect you. I just want you to buy more food.
Excellent. Do we have more questions? Okay. I have a question for you. You're in Portland 24 hours?
Yeah, I'm in Portland until tomorrow morning.
So where'd you eat, and where are you going to eat?
Oh, snap, dog. So I have basically like a master list to go through. But tonight, there's like a special speaker dinner that I have to go to. But I would really, really am hankering to go to Le Pigeon.
It's a good spot.
Yeah.
They got a new place opening up here soon as well. So.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Good stuff.
Sick. And I want to go to like Pok Pok.
Pok Pok's good.
Yeah, I just like sweat all my makeup off and have a new face over here.
Fantastic. All good choices. Lisa, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for coming to Portland. And what incredible energy and like,
Thank you. Thank you.
So makes me want to go out now and like start another business.
Oh yeah, and one more thing about the sous vide becoming ubiquitous, right? Everybody here is gonna get one, right? It's for this conference, we made it $49 frickin' dollars. Come to my booth. Yes, queen. Yes. So come to my booth, try out the shiznit. We used to be only live in California for food, but now we just so happen opened in Oregon just now. So come over and say hi. Say hi to my baby, 6-month-old Mari, the executive. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.